Today I'm going to show you how I brainstorm, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why I find brainstorming so helpful for writing. So there are going to be many times in your school career that you're going to be asked to write something in class with a limited amount of time, or that you're going to need to write something at home. And often when you get the question or the assignment, you can feel overwhelmed, like, I have no idea what I'm going to write about, or I don't have any ideas, or I have ideas but I don't know how to organize them. Well, brainstorming is the solution to that. And trust me, I'm not the kind of person who likes to take things slowly, but I find brainstorming to really be worth my time. It's always helpful, and it always really allows me to feel comfortable with the assignment and just get started writing in a clear and comfortable way. My first example topic for today is learning in class or online. And there are lots of things that we can say about this topic. So for a topic like this, where I have two different things I'm going to be looking at, I'm going to make what's called a T-chart. So let me show you how that works. You're going to make a T on your paper and write each topic on each side. Like this. And then you're going to start writing down ideas. So one thing I want to say about learning in class is that it's easier to make friends. It's also easier to ask questions. What else can we say about learning in class? We can say that learning in class, there are no technical issues. I don't have to worry about my internet. I can also talk about how I can see the faces of my classmates, that it's easier to work together. I can see my professor face to face. So let me write some of those things down. A couple of other ideas I thought of that are related are that I can see the professor well. It's easier to hear. When I'm in the classroom, I can hear the people more easily than when I'm trying to learn on the computer. And finally, it's easier to get handouts or materials. When teachers teach in the classroom, they often give you handouts on paper, but when you learn online, you don't get those handouts on paper. You might think of other ideas for this one, but I'm going to move on to the second side, which is learning online. If you want to practice brainstorming with me, you can pause the video, write this T-chart on your paper, and start brainstorming ideas for learning online. So I have some ideas that I'm going to start writing down on this side. The first one is that when we learn online, we can take classes in our pajamas if we want to. We don't have to really get dressed. Another thing I could put here is that I don't have to drive to campus. And when I think about that, I also think that there are a couple of related ideas. If I don't have to drive, it also saves me time and saves me gas. Maybe it saves me money because I don't have to pay for gas and I don't have to pay for parking. So let's go ahead and write those things down. A couple of other ideas about learning online. I don't have to worry about the weather. If it's raining outside or if it's cold, it doesn't matter because I'm learning inside my house. So I'll write that one down. Another idea is that it might be better for students who like to learn alone or for students who are shy. It's more convenient and flexible. It's convenient because I don't have to get dressed, I don't have to drive. It's more flexible because it allows me to maybe be able to do other things from home or maybe stay home with the kids. So let's get those ideas down. I also wanted to add this idea about learning tech skills. When we learn online, we often learn new skills like how to use Zoom or how to use the computer better. So I added that to my list as well. So now what I want to do is I want to look at my brainstorming list and see which ideas go together. There might be some ideas that are related to each other, so we need to find those ideas that go together. So for the first one, we might say that making friends and seeing classmates go together. There might be another one that is similar to this, that it's easier to work together. Okay, another one we might try is asking questions and seeing the professor well. And maybe that it's easier to hear. So these might be related ideas. Finally, we might think that tech issues could be its own idea. So if we look at this list, we might be able to have 3 different paragraphs. One paragraph about working with classmates, one paragraph about being able to see the professor, hear the professor, ask questions, and another idea about no technological problems like losing internet connection. Let's look at the next side. We might say that no driving and saving time, saving gas, saving money are related to each other. Let's look at some other ones. Maybe taking classes in pajamas and flexible would be one idea. And I don't know about this weather. I'm not sure that I can make this into its own paragraph. So I might want to expand that if I need more ideas. But that's what we do when we brainstorm. We have ideas and then sometimes we say, I'm not going to use that idea, and then you just leave it alone. And finally, learning tech skills. That might be its own paragraph. So again, for this one, it looks like we have 3 different paragraphs. For this example topic, I'm going to choose one side or the other. Which side am I going to talk about in my essay? And for this example, I'm going to choose in class. So my essay might be why it's better to learn in class, or that students should learn in class, not online. Let me show you what I'm going to do next. I'm going to think about these 3 ideas and I'm going to put them into a clustering brainstorm. To do a clustering brainstorm, I'm going to put my topic in the center and then I'm going to branch out. And I want to branch out to some kind of subtopics or main points. So the first thing I want to say for learning in class is that I can be with my classmates. So I'm going to put a bubble here for classmates. And then I want to think about the details. I might say that it's easier to make friends and that we can work and help each other. Work together and help each other. And I might say that it makes it more interesting because we can see each other's faces. Okay, the next idea is about having contact with the teacher. And for this one, I might say that it is easier to hear the teacher, that it's easier to ask questions. Finally, for the last point, I'm going to put that there are no technical issues, or I don't need to worry about technical issues. So no tech problems, and I'm going to include don't have to worry about Wi-Fi, maybe no computer problems. Now over here I could even start to branch off into some details or examples. So over here for no Wi-Fi, I might mention that when I learn in class, I don't have to worry about my teacher's Wi-Fi going down, which sometimes happens. Or I can say that I don't have to worry about my own Wi-Fi, or I don't have to worry about upgrading my computer equipment. So I can start to go into some more details. For the one about classmates, I might want to talk about how we can look at each other's work and give each other suggestions, or that when we sit next to each other, it's easier to make friends than just seeing a face on the computer screen. So again, I could start to go into some details. But this clustering helps me to see the 3 parts of my essay. And I also might start to think about which one I want to put first. This is especially helpful if you're a visual learner. For those of you who like to see things, a clustering brainstorm is a great way to get started on your writing. I'm going to show you one more type of brainstorming that I find to be very helpful when you need to look at the similarities and differences between 2 things. This is a common type of assignment in the United States where we have to do a comparison contrast, and we need to look at how 2 things are similar and different. So for this, we're going to use what's called a Venn diagram. And to do that, you're going to draw 2 circles that overlap or intersect. For this example, I'm going to look at the same topic that we looked at before, learning in class and learning online. But this one is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be looking at how those 2 things are similar and different. So I've got my topic written at the top of the board, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put each side, so in class and online, and then I'm going to put the ways that they are similar here in the middle, because this is the place where the in class and the online circles overlap. So those are the things that they have in common. So the first thing I want to say about these is that in both in class and online, the professor gives information. The professor teaches. The professor gives information. Another similarity between these 2 types of learning is that there are grades and assignments. So even when you take a class online, you still have to do work, you still have to get grades. The last similarity is discussions, because both in class and online, students do discussions. Okay, next, we might try to look at each one of these in more detail. So when I think about these, I'm actually going to notice that even though there are these things that they have in common, the details about them are different. For example, for discussions, when students are in class, they do discussions in groups. They do group discussions. But online, they usually use some kind of discussion board, or maybe like a forum. And these kinds of discussions are different because they don't take place at the same time. Maybe I write something and a few hours later, one of my classmates writes a response. If we look at grades and assignments in class, we might take a lot of timed tests and essays. What we mean by timed is that the teacher is there and the teacher gives the test and says, okay, you have 1 hour to finish. But when we learn online, often we have more flexibility with tests and essays. And the teacher often cannot see. This can cause more cheating. And maybe I might add here that there's less cheating in the class. Finally, about how the professor gives information in class, there might be more handouts, and obviously there is class lecture. And what do the students do during the lecture? The students take notes. But when students learn online, there might be videos, and maybe the learning for the students is more passive. What do we mean by that? It means that the students are maybe doing less. They're not really watching the professor in person. Maybe they're not taking notes. Maybe they're just kind of sitting there watching the videos that the professor has posted. So again, these are just example ideas, but you can see how you can use a Venn diagram to highlight the similarities, but then also to note differences. Then if I want to write an essay about this, I might think how even though these 2 things have some ideas in common, when I think about the details are actually quite different. And so I might actually use these 3 points as the 3 differences in my essay. So first I might say that the way that the professor gives information is different. In class, the professor gives in-person lectures and the students take notes. But online, the professors post more videos and the students have a more passive role. So then I might go to the next one, which is another difference in online learning and in-class learning is with grades and assignments. When students learn in class, they have more timed tests and essays. And there is less cheating because the professor can see what the students are doing. However, learning online, the students do more tests or essays from home and they have more flexibility in the time that they do it, but this also can lead to more cheating, etc. I hope that these examples of brainstorming helped you to see how brainstorming can help you not only get ideas from your head down on paper, but also to see how topics are similar and different, or to see how you might organize your ideas into separate paragraphs. That's what's so useful about brainstorming, because it can help you to imagine your topic and to help you see how you're going to get your ideas into an organized essay. If you have questions, please let me know, and I have a question for you to answer in the description box below. I want to know what type of brainstorming is your favorite to use. Take care, and I hope to see you next time.